Let's turn to California and lots of things going on, but some of the political things. Karen Bass was recently on doing an interview, and they asked her what she would do different in her second term. And of course, she didn't really have any good answers for that. But what she did say was that the street lights, she was going to keep them on by using solar panels to light them because of all the copper thieves that have stolen the copper in the lights and
She's
caused them to be
pathetic. I
out.
mean,
That
it
doesn't
says
sound like
typical
much.
it basically says the status quo is a status quo forever, and it's untouchable. And certain people who steal copper wire and homeless people who inject and incompetents that drain reservoirs and don't fill them up, that's okay because they're marginalized, underserved communities. So when they cause havoc that affect my house, my mansion, the, the mayor's mansion, then I need lights on the street. So we're gonna act to compensate their criminal behavior. We're not going to eliminate their criminal behavior. That's how they feel. They don't feel that lawless Los Angeles or these spinning Brodies in intersections is a crime. They don't think that urinating and defecating and fornicating and injecting is a crime. And they've destroyed the city, except she's basically saying her message, from what I got from the debates, she never really apologized for going to Uganda on a junket or any of the people she appointed, the incompetent fire chief, the incompetent director of water and power, the incompetent vice mayor. They were all incompetent. So what she's basically saying is, I have two constituencies: the liberal white professional class and Asian class. And those are all liberals. Those are people in the media, Hollywood, entertainment, sports, universities, academics, teachers unions, SEIU. They all make good money, and it's not that much different. They can navigate around the catastrophes. They're in safe neighborhoods for the most part. And then they have the very poor. Those are illegal aliens, first generation aliens, minority communities. And she says to them, we have the most generous welfare system in the country. We're even going to fix your meth teeth if you have them, take off your tattoos, you name it. And that doesn't require a renunciation or a rejection of anything she's done. She just keeps mute, and now she won't even debate at all. And the other, Ramna, is far more dangerous because she's smarter and she's far more left. Although Karen Bass went to Cuba to harvest sugar for Castro as a student, but she's scary because she's voiced a lot of racist stuff about, DEI and white people and all this stuff and fascist and
Is she part of the Democratic Socialists at all?
yeah,
I
I
can't
think she
remember.
did.
I think
Well,
she
if
was.
she isn't, she should be because she sounds like it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. We'll see how Spencer Pratt does. He seems to be taking the airwaves by storm anyways, or the video waves by storm. Well, let's turn to Governor Newsom. And there are a couple of things about him this week are that it came out that he removed the homeless from the home in front of the home of a NFL star, Marshawn Lynch. And he did that for him, which was just like, okay, homeless are fine everywhere else, but Marshawn Lynch does not want him in front of his house. So I'm going to go get rid of an encampment. That's one thing. And the second thing is, in a speech this week, Newsom has said that both Trump and Bernie Sanders are right. And that's his new line I believe he was talking about supporting the working class or defending the working class.
Start with the premise that Gavin Newsom has no ideology at all. He's a leftist because he was brought up by the Getty family as a surrogate son who financed his business projects, and he was the son of a appellate court judge, and he was affluent, and he was a Nepo baby. And then he went, he was in, he had the money and he had the connections. to Dianne Feinstein, Barbara Boxer, Jerry Brown, Willie Brown, all the people. Nancy Pelosi was related to him by Mary, all the people that have power. So they groomed him, and he just kind of mediocre. It was just a mediocrity on the board of supervisor county, and then he was mayor, and then he was lieutenant governor, and then he was governor. They just always just sort of, he had a drinking problem. He was an adulterer. He had all these certain things he did, but he didn't really ever craft or think about a political agenda at all. I mean, he said he was going to solve homeless. $10 billion completely got worse. Everything he's touched, he has the reverse Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to dross. Fire, California has gone up 3 times in major blazes. High-speed rail, it's hopeless.
It's
The
currently burning right now
Yes,
too,
it's burning in Los
in LS.
Angeles. We had the solar plant in the desert, it's being dismantled. We had, the Monterey batteries factory, storage for solar panel, it's blown up twice. The 99 in its 4-lane, choke points is deadly. I-5 down the whole west side is only 2 lanes in each direction, hasn't changed in 60 years. And the 101, there's places that the 101 or 2, you go down on the way to Monterey or Carmel from the Bay Area, you get in those choke points. And then going down to LA, there's choke points. So he didn't address any of our problems, and those that he addressed, he made it worse. Highest taxes in the nation, highest gas taxes, highest electricity prices, some of the worst test scores, but high cost per pupil. He doesn't talk about any of that. So now he just puts his finger in the wind every week and says, I don't have any ideas, but everybody's starting to hate Trump. I'll get a team that kind of emulates Trump, but they'll be just as uncouth. We'll use foul words. We'll use capital letters, and then people got angry at that. I'm going to hit him in the mouth. He did the Robert De Niro shtick. And then he kind of dropped that. And then they said, when you look at the field, there's not a moderate. Why don't you be a moderate for a while? So he had Charlie Kirk on his podcast. He had Steve Bannon. That's kind of been dropped now. So then they said, no, we got scratch that. Everybody's going left wing. AOC's may run for president. Kamala is going to go more left wing. Buttigieg's, you've got to, don't let anybody be to your left in California. So they did that. And then he looked at their polls, and they're very unpopular. And then somebody whispered in his ear, I think I told you the right thing you'll be the only moderate. You can be in between Fetterman and Kamala and practical. Just say, do the Mike Dukakis thing. It's not about ideology. It's just competence. Well, he can't do that because he's incompetent. But that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to say, 2 weeks ago, Trump was Lucifer, Satan. Now, yeah, he's kind of got some middle class ideas like Bernie. So he, he
S
he's a man that never was. He's a chameleon. Whatever he is, he blends in.
Yeah, but I think there is a tactic here, and it's the Hillary Clinton, "I'm gonna tack to the center for a while."